What's up, everybody? What is up? What is up? Y'all, you are tuning in to the weekly tech and AI news, where you have myself here, Cyrus Harbin, with Tech is the New Black, and my lovely, lovely co-host. I was passing over.
Yes.
All right, so that was a bad transition. But Ash, I just want to kind of like give the floor to my co-host really quickly.
Yeah, appreciate it. AI solutions consultant and startup founder. Glad to be here every Saturday.
Good stuff, y'all. And also, just to give y'all a heads up, make sure that that I was going to say that any of you, but honestly, it's all of you. Make sure that all of you because again, all of you should be leveraging AI. You should be leveraging generative AI tools, no matter if you're a founder or if you are someone working in tech or looking to get in the tech industry. Either way, you definitely want to make sure that you tap in with her. You tap in with the resources that she has. All you have to do is go down and look at the description down below. You can actually click on the link to be able to book a consultation with her. So that way you can learn how you can leverage AI and what AI tools you can leverage specifically to your specific scenario and what it is that you're looking to do. So we got some amazing news to cover. Want to see, not seeing too much activity in the chat. Usually y'all are extremely chatty. I'm like, am I even streaming right now? So let us know, let us know that y'all are here in the chat. We see a few of y'all on here watching. Let us know where you're tuning in from. And also, so let us know like where you're tuning in from and also what it is that you either do in tech or what you want to do in tech. So just so I can go first for those of y'all that don't know, I started off in the tech industry as a solutions engineer or sales engineer. It's a bunch of different names for it, but essentially I started off on the tech sales side of things. That's what I did for a good while. And since then, I have switched over to robotic processing automation. Sounds fancier than what it is, but it's still a pretty cool thing to do. Ash, if you can kind of tell everyone what just your specialties, just so like they kind of know more about you. Obviously, hear about the AI part, but I would love for you to kind of break down more for them, like as who you are and what you do.
Yeah, of course. So PwC, a Big Four alum, and Purdue University alum, boiler up, got my master's degree in human resources management. Then I transitioned over into essentially recruitment sales, and then going into, of course, the corporate side of things with PwC. And after we gained actually billions of dollars of AI training, then I transitioned into tech itself to become an AI solutions architect with a specialization in generative AI. So essentially, I provide solutions for your business or for creators that's going to optimize your process and maximize success in your ROI. So AI is changing the game, and the goal and mission is to be at the forefront of innovation and providing you with the ultimate solutions. So glad to be here and glad to also discuss the latest innovations in tech and AI. I mean, it's getting crazy, guys.
It's getting really crazy. So again, she is your go-to person. So it doesn't matter who you are. She is the person to tap in with, so that way you can expedite your growth, your success, leveraging the proper AI tools. So yes. Good stuff. Yeah, y'all are. I'm not gonna lie. I literally had to check. I was like, because we had one of our team members set up this stream, and I was like, did she set it up right? Because I don't see no activity in the chat. That is very okay. Cool. So we finally got somebody to say something. Shouts out to Quentin Knowles, and I appreciate all of you. I was today years old when I found out tech is the new black. LinkedIn. Oh, that's super cool. Love it. All right, we see somebody from the community just joined in the back room. Hugo, what's up, Hugo? If any point in time, Hugo, you got a question or you want to leave a comment, just let me know in the chat, and I'll allow you to come on, so that way you can kind of like give any input that you have. But again, y'all, we are covering this week's the latest and greatest tech and AI news from this week. So make sure y'all are tuned in. Make sure y'all got y'all's comments, y'all's questions. And if there's something else that we don't cover, make sure you mention it in the chat, because there's so much news happening in this industry. We can't even keep up with all of it. So if there's something you know about that we don't happen to share, feel free to drop it in the comments so that way we can talk about it. All right. So we got somebody who is a business development manager for a data and AI startup. That is cool. If you don't want to say what your company is, I'm curious if you can let us know, like, what does your company do exactly? I know you say a data and AI startup. Startups are really cool because usually they're doing something that most people don't even know about. So definitely let us know. See somebody else from LinkedIn say, hey, y'all, tuning in from North Carolina. I started as a business analyst, moved over to QA. Shouts out to QA. Promoted to a user acceptance test lead. Whoa, that's amazing. Currently taking free classes at Purdue for cybersecurity bootcamp to transition to a cyber GRC career. Just took the Google AI cert. Oh, you're on it. Just took the Google AI cert. Excited to deep dive more into AI. Yo, shouts out to you getting that education. We love it, especially you getting in the industry and you not stopping, you continuing your education, y'all. That's what it's all about, y'all. That's what it's all about. That's how you level up. That's how you scale up. I love it. I love it. What's up, Woo TV? Probably our favorite person that we love to see here in the comments. What's up? What's up, bro? All right, y'all. So look, we got some things to talk about. Happy to see y'all here. But we got some things to cover and talk about. Ash, if it's fine, I'll go ahead and kick it off, and then I'll pass it over to you, and we'll kind of hopscotch back and forth. Sound good?
Perfect. Let's do it.
All right, good stuff. So, and I actually feel crazy because I actually messed this up. So, all right, let me go. All right, I'm hype about this news this week. And the first piece of news is actually pretty crazy. I mean, honestly, all of it is pretty crazy. Let me go to present mode. Window. All right, here we go. All right, y'all. So this is something that we kind of all knew eventually was coming down the pipeline. Let me go ahead and shift us right here. All right, this is something that we all knew pretty much was coming down the pipeline. So just as it says, reported from The Verge, Lionsgate signs a deal to train AI models on its movies and shows. The studio behind Hunger Games and John Wick franchises, or the John Wick franchises, is going all in on Runway's generative AI. Now, reading through this, all right, so Runway has made a name for itself building generative models seemingly trained on unlicensed content from around the internet. Now the company has signed a deal with Lionsgate that will give it access to the studio's massive portfolio of films and TV shows. Today, Lionsgate, the studio behind John Wick and Hunger Games, announced that it's partnering with Runway to create new customized video generation model intended to help filmmakers, directors, and other creative talent augment their work. The vice chairman, Michael Burns, described it as a path towards creating capital efficient. Basically, they saving money, capital efficient content creation opportunities for the studio, which sees the technology as a great tool for augmenting, enhancing, and supplementing our current operations. Burns also insisted that several of our filmmakers are already excited about its potential applications to their production and post-production process. Look, y'all, we knew this was coming. We've been talking about this. I got a lot to say about it, but before I say anything, I'm going to pass it over to Ash. Ash, what are your first thoughts on this? And we also want to know from y'all in the comments. Let us know what y'all think about this. Long story short, this is the true beginning. Lionsgate is the first one to announce it, and we know eventually Paramount, then eventually all is going to roll downhill, and we're going to see a future where movies and shows are going to be more AI than actual people, both behind the scenes as well as in front. Notice right now they're starting with the behind the scenes stuff, and then eventually it's going to move to the front scenes. But Ash, what are your thoughts on this? And also I want to know from y'all in the chat what y'all thoughts are about this as well.
Yes, I mean, this was a major article to start off with, just because I feel like we were all on the edge of our chairs just waiting for this to happen. So to see them actually roll this out publicly, openly, and confidently is something that is going to change everything. So we already know that there is going to be a replacement of AI models from like the actual human or actors. And so it's going to change everything. I mean, it's going to be interesting to see exactly how they apply it. But at the end of the day, when it comes down to the business's bottom line, they're trying to save that capital. So it makes a lot more sense. But nonetheless, the implications of it, as far as the livelihoods of the real human actors and actresses of the world, where does that put them kind of in, difficult situations for their livelihoods and how they make a living. But nonetheless, I think the core of this lesson is that you're going to have to somehow leverage AI. So even when it comes to like copyright ownership for actors, actresses, their likenesses, they're going to be able to capitalize off of their own, legacies as well. But it really does require these conversations to solidify exactly how we're going to manage these systems, because it's going to put a lot of people out of work realistically, and it already is. But nonetheless, we're going to see a lot more of that. So fascinating article. Great to start off with, for sure.
This is crazy, y'all, because I mean, we know it costs so much money to make movies, and a large portion of the money goes towards the people that are usually that are unsung. It goes towards the writers. It goes towards those that create the storyboard. It goes towards a lot of the team behind the scenes, where a lot of what they do is either something that can be automated, or even the creative components at this point. If from what Runway is doing, their AI is being trained, and now Lionsgate is giving them access to tens of thousands, maybe hundreds of thousands collectively, of TV shows, movies from decades and decades. So the AI is getting trained on all of this. So it's going to have almost, to a degree, almost flawless knowledge and execution as to how to create and produce a movie or a TV show. Honestly, it might be able to even create within like its own algorithm, making sure that it's avoiding making some of the mistakes that happen in certain TV shows and movies based off of ratings of TV shows in the past. Now, mind you, I want to be clear. Companies already leverage data. I actually interviewed someone before. I've never posted this interview online. I still have it in my phone. But I interviewed someone at a tech conference where literally her job, she works at Netflix and used to work at other like TV show streaming services, and she works in the data side of things. So she's a data analyst for Netflix, and she uses the data. She actually sits in the room where she helps make the decision of the early cancellation of a show. So y'all know, whenever your show, like, you're like, man, why'd they cancel that show early? The data analyst team, they're a part of that. They're able to, even if a show seems good, they can track the data, and it's beyond just looking at the ratings or looking at how many people are watching. They really dive deep into the data and analytics and based on trends in the economy, and are able to like make predictive decisions to say, hey, yeah, we need to go ahead and end this season, or end this show this season, or not renew it for a season, or give it 2 seasons and then end it. But now AI is going to be able to assist with that, as well as they're doing a myriad of other things. So it's going to be really interesting to see. I have a few friends that are in the film industry that are actually in TV shows and in small budget movies. And I constantly want to tell them, like, please look into doing something else. Because if you're not a Brad Pitt, or if you're not a Margot Robbie or someone like that, where your name draws tens, hundreds of millions of dollars, it's like, at that point, why are they going to pay you $100,000, $500,000 to do something, whether you're an actor or you're behind the scenes? Why are they going to dish out this money when you're not directly bringing them that money back, when they could just have AI, whether front end or back end, do that exact same thing, maybe at the same level, maybe even better? Yeah. And it only costs them a subscription, or like them paying that company maybe a few $1,000s extra every month. So I don't know, like, what are y'all thoughts on this? Again, this is happening. This isn't whether or not it's gonna happen. It's happening. The cat's out of the bag. The toothpaste is out of the Where do y'all think we go from here? What do y'all think about this? So I'm gonna go through some of the comments right now, and then we'll transition over to the next topic that Ash is gonna be covering. So looking at the comments. Oh, okay, cool. So you said that your company, okay, so your data and AI company, you said they host large scale events focusing on data and AI implementations in the workforce for F to 500 orgs. F to 500.
Like Fortune 500.
Oh, I feel so stupid. Like I knew when I saw 500, I was like, okay, Fortune 500, but what's the F? That's literally what you meant. Fortune 500. Thank you so much. So this stuff, that's cool. Yeah, please let us know. I mean, you drop the link. Our next event is here. Oh, that's super cool. Yeah, if I definitely need that link. If you could do me a favor, because I can't copy it. I mean, I'll just post it here so everybody else can see it. So that's their next event. It looks like data science datasciconnect.com. Okay, cool. I'm gonna pull that up a little bit later, but that's super dope. Love
Very
it, love it.
cool.
That.
Very
All right, Wu says, you've been saying that for so long. We have been definitely screaming this out. Yeah, we have. We have. Unfortunately, so many people have their head in the I'm next. What do you mean by that, Wu, when you say you're next? I'm curious. The People Corner says, it makes you wonder what will be the role of actors, actresses, and filmmakers going forward. Yeah, I wonder if more filmmakers will switch to independent work. Wu says, I think I saw that somewhere. Sound familiar? Are you talking about I'm assuming you're talking about the conference, the datasciconnect.com. I really like it because it sounds like it has my name in it, datasci.com.
I like that.
Super cool. So look, y'all, this is crazy news. We got some other amazing news to cover. I'm going to go ahead and pass it over to Ash for the next topic.
Great. And I loved your comments and just want to touch on the fact that actors or actresses may have to pursue independent contracting, like you said, or something. I think that is revolutionizing our need for ownership. How do we define that? If there's a singular owner of AI systems that can produce billions of dollars of productivity, where does that leave everyone else? Essentially in a place where we're all going to have to leverage AI and build our own AI system. So ownership is the key, and that's the word of the day. Another word of the day is going to be innovation. And we're going to be first and foremost starting off with AI innovation with science. So let's go ahead without further ado, starting this today. Okay.
Hey, y'all, this is crazy. So while she's pulling that up, I want to remind y'all, I want to highlight something, y'all. Notice how, again, first, what Lionsgate is doing is they're using it to replace the behind the scenes people. Eventually, it always starts off with the behind the scenes people, and then eventually it creeps up to replacing front facing people like actors that you see. And so it's pretty interesting. And I mean, again, we're going to see this exact same thing in other industries where the first roles to get replaced are going to be a lot of the behind the scenes, non-customer facing roles. I'll talk about this a lot. So again, right now, the most industries are okay now, but we are literally watching the storm preparing to brew, watching it prepare to brew. Ash, I'm not trying to talk over you, by the way, Ash. So if whenever we move over to the next topic, literally just cut me off so we could jump into it.
Yeah, no problem. It's up if we could.
Oh yeah, we got to bring it on. My bad. I got to bring it on the screen. Excuse me.
All right, you guys. So we're starting off with how AI is revolutionizing science. Then we're going to be getting into a few new AI tools and concluding with how AI is actually being implemented into our governmental US systems. All right, you guys. So first and foremost, starting off with scientific breakthroughs in AI. So what we're going to be covering is absolutely insane. So without further ado, let's get into it. So there's something called neuromorphic computing. And so essentially it's revolutionizing information processing by mimicking our brain's neural networks. So this really has the potential to overcome not only traditional computer limitations, but also revolutionizing new AI applications as well. So we're taking the power of the human mind and maximizing it with AI potential, which is absolutely insane. So just as far as the specifics in the article here, essentially this was really inspired by, of course, the human brain, where they developed a natural computing program for different memory states. And so when we're looking at massive amounts of data and processing, you guys, this is going to take it to the next level. So without further ado, essentially, to summarize this, researchers really created this neuromorphic hardware that can mimic the human brain, but it really truly allows for energy efficient and high performing computing, again, analyzing massive aggregate sets of data. So this innovation is really going to improve data center operations. We have NVIDIA, that's what they specialize in, data chips, etc. Elon Musk, he invests in this as well. It's huge. So beyond that, we're looking at digital mapping and gaming gaming systems. So we're looking at immersive realities indistinguishable from reality. I mean, AI is taking things to levels that even beyond human understanding, okay? All right, so we want to make sure we cover the business benefits for all of you guys that are here, okay? So what we're looking at, the benefit for you is going to be handling large-scale data processing, as we discovered, and offering reduced energy costs and increased efficiency, okay? So anything that requires massive amounts of power, just like Bitcoin systems, Bitcoin mining, et cetera, we're gonna have to have an alternative of natural energy processing. And so this is a potential of it by having neural computer interface network, which is insane. So a few follow-up questions, you guys. We're interested to see what you think of this. It's blowing my mind. I know it's blowing your mind as well. So essentially thinking of how your business could benefit from energy efficient computing. All right, we have many startup founders out there, but eventually when we're getting to scale to become those $1 million, $1 billion companies, we're going to need AI to power your businesses. And so start to think about, you know, exactly how we can be energy efficient and then incorporating it for massive power. Okay. Also, what future applications do you guys envision for brain-like hardware in data-heavy industries? So we think of the well-known companies out there. Tesla, it calls himself a AI robotics company, you know, and we also have NVIDIA, but mainly Tesla and NVIDIA that require just those like massive amounts of data right now at this time. But you know, what's the future of this application, you guys? If we're taking the power of the human mind and multiplying it to magnitudes not yet understood, what are the implications of that? What's the reality that you guys see happening? Curious to know. Feel free to put your thoughts in the chat. I know this is crazy as far as like scientific discoveries and everything, but before we transition, I want to just cover a related topic in science, just so we can have everything together. And this is going to be a quick thing. So another scientific breakthrough, essentially, imagine AI that can feel, you know, all of our senses, our five senses, smell, sight, feel, touch, whatever. And so essentially, just quickly touching on this. So you guys know, AI has predicted odor using molecular structures. So essentially, this groundbreaking AI model can predict the scent of molecules with remarkable accuracy. So what is the applications of it? It can transform industries like fragrance design, healthcare diagnosis, and agriculture. Essentially, this technology is going to drive innovation in product design, particularly if you're really into, you know, something like insect repellents, identifying diseases, et cetera, in the healthcare industry. But nonetheless, the question is for you business owners out there, think of how you can leverage sensory-based AI applications in your businesses if it's necessary. So when we're imagining like AI robots that can actually feel, AI robots that can smell, see, touch, these things are going to be enhancing realities for these new entities that are evolving. So getting into the human experience that is AI, that's going to become closer. So
this is insane.
Yeah, that's the final. Yeah,
so
it is.
I want to be clear, y'all. When Ash and I, we do the weekly tech and AI news, the really cool thing, and I don't know if we've ever shared this, Ash and I don't prepare each other with what we're going to talk about. She literally gets topics and I get topics, and then we come together. So this is literally my first time learning about this, just like y'all. This is incredible. Like no one's, I never thought that was possible. As much as I believed AI and robotics could eventually do basically everything, for there to be robots that can smell, that can taste things, that can actually feel things. Like, I mean, the feeling part isn't that crazy because it's not too hard to create sensories or sense within within a physical like within hardware. But like the smelling part is crazy. And then also the fragrant part, like the part that you mentioned, Ash, where it's like how this is going to revolutionize fragrance companies and companies that deal with like insect repellent or even, you know, the part of it, the reason why the smelling part is so crazy to me. There was recently, let me know in the chat, y'all, if y'all heard about this story. There was a woman, she's alive today. She can smell like if you have like a certain disease or if something like that. At first, the doctors thought she was crazy. she kept smelling a weird odor on her husband. Kept smelling it. And then she was like, yo, something like he would shower. And she was like, I don't know why you have this odor. And then later on, it was found out that he had some disease that was developing. And so she told the doctors, yo, I could smell it. Like I could tell. The doctors thought she was crazy, but she was so adamant about it. Eventually, they were like, okay, let's go ahead and test her out. So they put her in a room with like a bunch of different people, and she was able, with something like 98% accuracy, determine who all had a certain disease and who did it. That being said, if she can smell based off of like odor or based off of, again, molecules, like based off of a scent that's coming off of people, it's like to be able to implement that within AI and robotics, there are all types of diseases because she could smell it before the actual disease manifested in people. So she was actually able to smell and determine
like a superhero
within like their genes, they possibly would develop this disease or ailment. And so like if we have robotics and AI, like this could transform the medical industry in a major way. Now we all know, let me know in the chat if y'all agree or disagree. We all know the pharmaceutical industry is not going to allow something to be created that's going to like keep people from getting any type of disease unless at least they getting paid for it. Because of course they make most of their money from selling the cure. Which we're not going to get into that, but this is crazy. I'm sorry, this just blew my mind, Ash. And this blew my mind.
We got some funny comments in the chat too.
What y'all talking about in the chat? Oh, I feel sorry for the BBL communities. AI might be more. Yeah, that's hilarious. That's hilarious. Oh, that's cool. Appreciate that, Sean. Sean the photographer. That's hilarious. I'm happy that the algorithm presented you to my feed. Hey, appreciate that, man. Thanks, Sean. Where you tuning in from, bro? Also, let us know, like, what do you do in the tech industry, or are you in the industry at all? I mean, I'm assuming you're a photographer, or I've never, I know it's a joke about you being a photographer, but like, are you actually a photographer? I'm pretty curious about that. Also, you being a photographer, you being in like, some version of like, film, because video is nothing more than like a lot of pictures that are just moving at a fast rate. I'm curious, Sean, what do you think about the news that we mentioned earlier with Paramount and them going into contract with a AI company to be able to basically have the AI start to create a lot of the storyboarding and kind of help when it comes to creating other films? Pretty curious about that. Notary says, hi, everyone. What's up? What's up, Notary? Hope you are doing well. Hope you're doing well. Oh, cool. Kate up above says Paramount. She dropped a link. Man, see y'all. Paramount initiates next round of layoffs and ongoing effort. 15% of, so they simultaneously have laid off 15% of their workforce. On the flip side, they have went into contract with this company, which means they paid this company. So I want, like, let's all be clear. It's not that Paramount didn't have the money, because they had to pay this company, like this company they just went into contract with, millions and millions of dollars at least. And this isn't a one-time deal. They're going to have to pay on a recurring basis. This is a SaaS product at the end of the day, software as a service or AI as a service. So they're going to have to pay on a annual or 4-year contract basis, millions and millions, maybe tens of millions of dollars. So they have the money. They just said, we would rather pay you all a few $1,000,000 every year, maybe a few $100,000 every year. Who knows? We'd rather pay you all that than pay out $10, $15, $100 million to 15% of our staff. So again, y'all, it's always about the money. It always comes down to the money at the end of the day. Wu says we need to learn this tech thing quick. All areas. Exactly, y'all. And that's a huge initiative we have, especially Ash, when it comes to us being skilled up with the latest and greatest knowledge when it comes to generative AI and how we can all implement it. So yeah, y'all, it's getting really interesting. Ash, like I know I kind of rambled on a minute because I got so hyped about the news you were sharing. What are I guess like Like, how do you think, I guess, because I know you already listed some things, some industries you believe this will impact. What do you believe like some of the implications could be with this kind of technology, like where it can like sense things?
Well, I think Blue TV said it pretty well. He made a comment. He said, "Wow, this is coming to life for real," and he said it best. I mean, that's exactly what we can imagine in the future. So we already have the robot components. Now we have the sensory components, and so when you put all of the components together with the advanced AI, the robotics, physical, mental, artificial, scientific realms, then the implications of it, we can't even begin to comprehend what that looks like. But essentially, and this is a prediction of the future of essentially bionic like bionic robots, so robots that are powered through some sort of biology, what that looks like. I've explored what that looks like as far as like generations and discussing it with research, conducting massive amounts of research with AI itself. And it looks like AI robots that essentially have like natural power systems. So it's crazy. It blows your mind. And so instead of having to think of like, okay, robots require power systems. So like a lot of the time you see the robot walking by itself, but it's like, okay, only an hour of functioning. But eventually if we could get into the AI being able to see, touch, feel, then it's becoming more and more human. And so what does that mean? That's a question for everyone. We don't know.
That's crazy. We literally are stepping into where there are going to be robots that will be able to walk in a building and will be able to smell if there's like a gas leak or something and say, hey, there's a gas leak. Everyone needs to leave the building right now. It'll be able to like make like strong. I mean, even we think about like firefighters and, firefighters going into homes to save people and how AI like will start to be able to do that. I mean, I don't know if y'all saw recently. Oh, this should have been some news we shared actually. There was a person who was just recently arrested by a robot. Like they were actually, they had a warrant out for their arrest. Ashley, did you know about this?
I think I did see it. Yeah. I mean, insane, like detained by a robot, or how is that?
It was like the robot y'all showed up to let us know in the chat who all saw this. The robot showed up to the person's motel and was like knocking on the door. And I don't even know how, like I saw like parts of the video, but the person came out and they tried to throw something, or they threw something over the AI robot trying to cover it up. The AI robot was able to move the sheet out of the way and sprayed the person. I don't know what it sprayed them with, but it sprayed them to where it was like mace or something, because the dude literally like fell and was on the ground rolling around. I was like, yo, that's so embarrassing. Imagine sitting in jail and people being like, yo, you the dude that got beat up by a robot. He's literally the first person in known history to get arrested by a robot. It's like, it's crazy. Yo, but it's happening. Like Wu said it perfectly. We're not even 5 years in yet. Y'all, this is real. Like, this is technically, all things considered, this is technically still year 2 from when like OpenAI went viral. So we are literally not even 5 years in yet. Like 2030, like this stuff is happening so fast. And Ash, I want to highlight something that Ash said to make sure y'all really understand the value of this. Like the first thing she talked about was highlighting how they're creating more cost efficient. Like they're making AI more cost efficient because it is extremely expensive, like to power these things. Like for instance, even OpenAI is not profitable right now. They are bleeding money. Even with their subscription model, they're not profitable. They're bleeding money because even when you go and do like a simple prompt on ChatGPT, that costs a lot of money for the AI to be able to basically do the job of researching and then aggregating information and then presenting it back to you. That costs a lot of money each and every time we do that. So they're not profitable yet, but they are gradual. I think it's like 99%. Like they brought the expenses down about 99% based on something I looked at recently. So the chat, like we got a couple comments in the chat. So Steven says he definitely needs an interview about being arrested by a robot. Yeah, that is hilarious. Things are beginning to change rapidly, especially about Mark Meta. Yep, and that's literally the next topic we are talking about. Before I transition over to that topic, I definitely want to give the floor to Ash for anything else she has to share before we share about this topic before we switch over to the next one.
Yeah, well, Cyrus said it's best that it's going to be really necessary to get into industries where you're leveraging and using AI. So we know major industries, robotics, artificial intelligence, machine learning, et cetera, et cetera. So if you're not already in tech, it's going to be very necessary for you to get into tech now. So if you haven't already, tap into the link and definitely get started getting into a tech career. And also researching and finding exactly where your passions lie within that industry, because everything's changing and you want to be, you don't want to be on the other side where you're left behind. You want to be at the forefront. So that's all I have. And so we'll transfer it over back to Cyrus.
It's crazy. It's crazy. Notary says Google is trying to catch up with AI. Yeah. Google, they're definitely. Was it? Gemini. Did they change it from Gemini? Did they change it from Bard to Gemini? I don't even hear anyone talk about Gemini, which is crazy. Is this still called Gemini? Google's response
I think
to
so,
OpenAI?
Gemini.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm like, man. Okay, here we go, y'all. This next bit of news was something I have been very excited about, and this news is actually being reported from I definitely just clicked on the wrong button. It's being reported from the source itself, so we don't have to question how accurate this is, at least in terms of it being from the actual source. So you go ahead and switch this around for us. So yeah, just as y'all see, this is reported from Meta themselves. Meta is introducing Orion, our first true augmented reality glasses. So this is crazy, y'all, because we just saw, what was it, not even a year ago, was it earlier this year, where Apple released their VR, their virtual reality, or is their augmented reality headsets. And literally within the same year, Meta came out and said, no, we got the glasses. So look, again, as always, let us know in the chat if y'all knew about this already, what some of your thoughts are as we dive into it. All right, so today, which at this point is a couple of days ago, Meta unveiled Orion, previously codenamed Project Nazar, which we believe is the most advanced pair of AR glasses ever, augmented reality glasses ever made. Orion combines the look and feel of a regular pair of glasses with the immersive capabilities of augmented reality. And it's the result of breakthrough inventions in virtually every field of modern computing. We're moving Meta employees and select external employees, we're giving Meta employees and select external employees access to Orion so our team can learn, iterate, and build towards our consumer augmented reality glasses product line. So look, y'all, I'm not gonna lie, these joints look tough. I'm not even gonna cap. So look, this is just an example. That's what it looks like when you have them on. So they're playing like a ping pong game, like virtually. But just the look of them, I'm not gonna lie, these joints look like some designer frames that I would wear. Like, I would wear these just to look cool, which is crazy to say because usually technology, it looks really bad. That's usually the thing that's like horrible about it. But y'all, these are really incredible. We're gonna dive into some of the things that it does. So there are three primary reasons augmented reality glasses are key to unlocking the next great leap. So one, they enable digital experiences that are unconstrained by the limits of a smartphone screen. With large holographic displays, you can use the physical world as your canvas, placing 2D and 3D content and experiences anywhere you want. They seamlessly integrate with contextual AI. This is what makes it crazy, because even Apple's headsets aren't implemented anything with AI yet. So this is so cutting edge. Anyway, it integrates with contextual AI that can sense and understand the world around you in order to anticipate and proactively address your needs. They're lightweight and great for both. Okay, now I was just saying the cute stuff. I'm gonna tell y'all my favorite thing about this. Now, this part is probably gonna blow some of y'all's mind. Maybe it won't. Literally, it has a translator in it. So if you have a pair on and someone else has a pair on, like I'm in the Dominican Republic right now. I am learning. I'm cuatro semanas aprende español. I am learning Spanish. 4 weeks in now. I've been studying Spanish, learning it. Estudio mucho estudio español. That being said, the reason why I waited so long to learn Spanish, because again, I lived in Miami. People were like, why don't you learn Spanish? I always said, because technology is going to come out that's going to make it unnecessary for us to learn languages. And I was saying, yo, it's going to be some type of wearable device that in some type of way is going to translate for you. And that's literally what this does. I want to make sure like y'all take the time to look this up later. But literally one of the examples that showed Mark Zuckerberg had a pair on, and one of his executives had a pair on as well. The executive was speaking in Spanish, and Mark, of course, was speaking in English. And everything the executive was saying was getting translated into English because there's like a small speaker that's like next to your ear. So literally while you're talking to someone, not only does it translate what they're saying into your language, but also on your on the screen, you can see the text of what they're saying translated into your language. And every time Mark spoke in English, it translated to the person in Spanish. So this is literally going to revolutionize everything to where we're going to see people. Now you're going to see people walking all around the world where whenever locals or someone is saying something, literally it's going to be translated on their frames what the person is saying, and they're going to hear it in their own language. This is going to revolutionize everything, y'all. And this is so early on. This is just the beginning because this is still just their prototype. So it's going to be incredible. I mean, it's crazy. To me, the craziest thing is that Meta came up with this. Like, not Apple, Meta, which is such a disrespect to Apple because I've talked about this before, y'all. Mark Zuckerberg and Tim Cook. Tim Cook's the CEO of Apple. He took over after Steve Jobs. Mark Zuckerberg and Tim Cook hate each other's guts. Like they are really each other's ops in a major way. We talked about it before during Tech and AI News. The reason why Apple created the update a couple years ago, y'all know the update that basically like lets you know that a platform is tracking you whenever you leave off the platform. They created that to try to destroy Meta because Meta makes all their money by being able to track people and sell that data to people who are running ads. I had a meeting with a friend yesterday, a colleague of mine. He told me when Apple implemented that, he said it almost completely crushed his business. He said all of his friends that were multi-millionaire business owners, they're all out of business today. They've not recovered since Apple made that update. They made that update to hurt Meta a lot by about $100 or $200 billion, literally overnight, wiped out like a lot of Meta's valuation. And now Meta is clearly like, okay, you know what? We're now going to start making money in your field of work. We're going to do what you're doing, but try to do it better and make it cooler. Because no one's going to be walking around with those VR headsets on looking crazy like we're in a sci-fi movie. But I don't know. Let me know in the chat. Ash, I want to know from you as well. Like, would y'all wear these? What do y'all think about this? I mean, I want a pair right now. Just for the look, I want a pair right now. But let me know what y'all think about this, because this is some crazy stuff. Crazy stuff. Let me look at the chat because I got it built out to where I can't even see the chat right now. What are we talking about? Ash, what are some of your immediate thoughts on this, on the technology? Am I frozen or is Ash frozen? Can y'all hear me? Oh, it looks like Ash dropped out. Maybe she was frozen. All right, so let me look at the chat real quick while Ash is coming back on. Zach says, Notary says, how can I bridge notary and AI? How can I bridge notary and AI? What do you mean by that, Notary, when you say how do you bridge notary and AI? I don't understand what you mean by that. Zach says, don't worry about Google. They're busy developing their large language models with Anthropic. Yeah, that's true. That's true. Good point, Zach. Steven says, I'm a big fan of the Quest 3 from Meta. I prefer it over the Apple, bruh. But this is next level. Yeah, this is next level. To give y'all context as to how this works, literally you wear a wristband. It's not connected by wire. Just you wearing the wristband, you control the screen with your thumb. So again, y'all, make sure y'all look it up. You can literally be in a Zoom meeting or you can be on a website walking around with these on, seeing the world and seeing your screen. So you could be at a coffee shop, you could be anywhere and not just be talking on the phone. You could be in a meeting looking at someone's screen while they're sharing it to you. And you could be going around clicking on screens literally by just doing this with your thumb. And again, having the wristband on. So this is honestly amazing, y'all. Looks like Ash is coming back in. Okay, good stuff. Oh, Ash, it's making that sound again. I'm gonna call her and let her know it's making that weird sound again. All right, y'all. Let me look at the comments while it's ringing. Ash. So Woo TV says, first off, the robot is not catching me at all. Yeah, I don't know how that dude let the robot catch him and get arrested by the robot. Hey, Ash.
Yeah, I'm trying to connect back in now.
Okay, cool. Yeah, it was making that weird sound again, so that's why I kicked you out. But you can come back in.
Yeah, no problem.
All right, cool. So, yeah, Woo said that robot's not gonna catch me. Sorry, but the Meta Ray-Bans, I seen Mark with Jensen talking about it in an interview. Billionaires just popping their ears. Yeah, yo, Jensen and Mark Zuckerberg been hanging out lately. They've been acting like they just the new cool guys, and I love it. I love it for them. Let me know what y'all think about Mark Zuckerberg's rebrand. Have y'all seen how Mark Zuckerberg's brand, like as a person, has been updated with him wearing a chain, him seeming cool now, him being more active online, him boxing, learning MMA, all these other things. Like whoever is rebranding Mark Zuckerberg, it needs to be studied because Mark Zuckerberg was one of the most hated people ever, and now he's becoming this cool billionaire that everybody likes. I saw a post of Mark Zuckerberg recently. I looked at the comments. It was nothing but people calling him cool, people like praising him. And I'm like, who rebranded Mark Zuckerberg from being this lizard, this weird alien that they would call him, to now he's this cool dude and everybody likes him and thinks he's cool. I love it, but whoever did it is definitely killing the game with it. I'm going to unmute your mic, Ash, because you're muted right now. Oh, I can't unmute you. Okay, cool. You gotta unmute yourself. Okay, cool.
Yeah, I appreciate you. Technical difficulties, but we're back. I mean, this topic is mind-blowing. I know that everyone saw this latest innovation, and that's what makes Mark, easy to love just because he is such an innovator in this space. But you guys, the conclusion is that wearable technology is the future. As a founder who happens to also run a wearable technology startup, we're revolutionizing and trying to stay at the forefront of innovation as well, as far as what we can do. And so our latest innovation is going to be like a wearable health care monitoring ring. But these AR, VR glasses are absolutely insane. So I guess the goal would be to really make wearable technology readily accessible for everyone. So if we're looking at the price point of these glasses, we're looking at $400 to $500 off the top. Which is very much so reasonable. But imagine in the future wearable technology that's accessible for everyone. So eventually we're going to be getting into that. But these VR, AR glasses, I mean, it's going to take everything to the next level. And so I'm interested to see, Cyrus, have you experienced VR or AI or AR augmented reality before? Just like, have you had like the Oculus glasses or anything like that? Have you tried it?
So it's crazy. So short answer, yes. I actually wore a pair from someone else, actually from Microsoft. Yeah, Microsoft. A lot of people don't know Microsoft had like some not virtual reality, augmented reality frames before, not frames, but the whatever the hell they're called, the goggles, the visors, whatever it's called. They had that at least for the past like year and a half. I actually wore a pair. A guy gave me his pair, and it was like a prototype, but I literally got to test it. I was walking around my apartment building in Atlanta, and I actually have a video. I think I posted it on my page where I was like, "Yo, this is crazy." And then about a month or 2 months later is when Apple did the reveal about Oculus. So yeah, so I've gotten to test this stuff out, y'all. This stuff is really, really cool. It's really impressive.
Yes. And if you haven't tried VR, AR, like you have to, because the experience is something that is, I mean, you're not going to get it anywhere else. I personally had my first VR experience like yesterday. And it blew my mind. It took me so long to, I was like, I have to try that. But like, it was absolutely crazy.
Yeah.
One of the aspects of like our business model is like immersive shopping. So essentially, like, imagine in the future, we say that with a startup, we're the future of fashion. So like, imagine you can like walk and access into an immersive paradise while shopping. I mean, it's all next level. So it's super, super exciting. I mean, the future is something where, everyone will be able to really have a stake in the future by innovating, building, leveraging, and incorporating this technology as creatives or business owners.
Yo, this is so incredible, y'all. And just to give y'all, kind of give y'all a little bit of knowledge. For those of y'all that don't know, again, I know there's plenty of y'all here that know this, but for those that don't know, the difference between VR and AR, or virtual reality versus augmented reality, because some people get them intertwined. So virtual reality it's like you're being put into a virtual world. So virtual reality is usually you having something on where you're in another world that's not our real world, or at least like virtually, your eyes are in another world that's not your real world. Augmented reality is the opposite. It's you're bringing a virtual world into our world. So that's why, like, when you look at these, you're able to see screens, but the screens are viewable within like your actual reality, like your background, your kitchen, your living room, wherever you're at. So that's the difference. Virtual reality is basically us being put into another world. Augmented reality is us bringing another world into our world.
Well said.
Just in case any of y'all end up on, some game show and that becomes like the $1 million question for you to win it all. Just want to make sure y'all knew that. So y'all, this is incredible. I've got to get to the comments because y'all are talking in the comments. So let's see what y'all talking about. All right, so Woo TV is hilarious. He said it's many of them glasses on Alibaba.
Yep.
I seen one last year. That's hilarious. Steven says only issue is power, battery life. Oh, you're talking about like the robots and stuff. Yeah, Ash addressed that actually earlier at the beginning of the stream with the power aspect with the bots and AI and everything. All right. So someone says I have a pair of regular Ray-Ban Metas that I use for video recording versus my phone. So I can only imagine what these will be like. Y'all know what's going to be crazy. Y'all know there are a lot of Riz coach influencers or dating coach influencers that become really popular, where there are guys that walk around with those Ray-Bans on and they record themselves flirting with girls or shooting their shot at girls. Y'all know it might be crazy if someone has some AI implemented frames on, and the AI is giving dudes tips as to what to say. So if they go up to a girl and try to flirt, and then a girl says something, the AI will be able to give you, okay, this is how you respond to make her laugh or to make her interested in you. Like, the AI will probably literally give you like coaching tips. That, I wonder if someone would actually create that technology and then sell it as a subscription to lonely guys. Someone's gonna do that eventually. The opportunities here are endless. Anyway, let's get back to the comments. All right, so all right. Planet L says, I love the technology, but concerned about them violating my bio info. What do you mean by bio info? Neil says, curious to see how it would translate when multiple people are talking. Yeah, so it's interesting right now the way the technology works, because again, it's still a prototype, still kind of in beta mode. Right now, the way that it works is that the other person has to have them on as well. So when they talk, it goes into the mic and then it gets transferred over to you. So that's the way that it currently works. I believe that's the way that it works. Like, based on the video I saw, I could be wrong. It could, maybe only you need to wear them, have a pair on, and it'll translate. But there are honestly ways around it. Like, one thing to keep in mind, again, we're talking about AI. So we're not just talking about a normal translator. We're talking about an AI translator. Now, what can an AI translator do? An AI translator, it can assume who it should translate based on the context of the conversation. So let's say you're in a room and two people are talking over here, and then somebody is talking to you. Based on your conversation, the AI can determine who it should be listening to, or it will be able to determine based on the context who it should translate. So it'll be able to diffuse and say, okay, based on what this person over here is talking. I mean, even going back to what Ash mentioned, we talk about them being able to have it now to where there is going to be able to smell and have senses. It won't take too much for it to be able to determine based on someone's distance who it should listen to. Because again, all sound is, when we hear sound, all it is essentially wind that's coming out. We're controlling the pronunciation or enunciation of words with our tongue and our lips, based on the way we're shaping our tongue and lips. That's all words are. With us hearing the words, that's a matter of the vibration of our eardrum in our ear. And I know all y'all know this. Y'all like, yeah, we all know this. But again, AI will be able to do the same thing. Again, if it's listening, it'll be able to listen to the vibrations and be able to determine based on someone's distance, again, based on the context of the conversation. Now, I'm not saying it can do this now. I highly doubt it can do it now. But again, I'm just giving you an example. As a non-technical person myself, if I can think of a way for them to like overcome that issue that you brought up, that's a valid pain point or a valid problem that they could run into. I know for a fact there are teams that are working on this that are much smarter, much more technical than I can or that I am. They'll be able to come up with some solutions to that as well. We got a few more comments, but I want to pause really quickly to kind of hear more from Ash.
Yeah, so would love to just address some of the sentiments here, which I think are pretty great, and then transition and show you guys the future. So it's getting absolutely insane to where the virtual world could become indistinguishable from realities. And so what does that mean? I know you guys have seen, Ready Player One. Are we getting to that future? Yes, we are. And so Woo TV speaks on how our cultural influences are really being seen in the tech industry, which I agree, and also want to emphasize the necessity for diverse groups of people to learn about AI. Your greatest competitive advantage is to learn about technology that's advancing our realities and worlds. And so again, if you're not already into tech, you need to get into tech. Tap in immediately. But also some valid points as well. So Planet Ellie said, or L, brought into bioinfo, so tracking your brain and biology data. At the end of the day, Meta, they leverage all of our data. And so in the future, maybe one day we can argue to get paid for our data as we deserve to be. But nonetheless, they're data scraping everything. And so that's why they make everything open source. Actually, Mark Zuckerberg has openly admitted to this. But also on a point to Woo TV, who actually mentioned something huge, which is Super World. I've heard of it. And they're really developing immersive realities. And so I want to show you some technology that I've been developing. Just to show you guys just exactly how you could apply it into your own business models and how it's readily being applied into different industries as well. So this is something different that we're doing here, and you guys are getting the first view of this, but I have to show you just because it's very much so related. So I'm going to just share my screen really quickly so you guys can see what we're talking about here. Okay, you guys, so really, really quickly, as you guys know, defining the startup as the future of fashion, this is you guys get the first look. You guys get the first look at this. It's going to take some time to load here, but it's basically like an immersive video game, like an immersive reality. So changing the game and how you experience shopping. And so, yeah, it's just taking some time to load, but and then once we get into the virtual reality store, then we'll cover just exactly how government is revolutionizing just regulations and laws. So yeah, because we're on stream, I think it's taking a bit longer, but we'll preview that at the end. You'll be able to see that one. So let me transition until that's finished loading. We'll preview that, but let me present instead just the final news that we're getting into. Okay, so okay, you guys, we're gonna get into 1 second. covering and sharing how government in our Congress is implementing AI safety legislation. We were talking about this a few weeks ago, where we were just like, okay, why isn't government really having a part in AI? You know, at the end of the day, we're going to have to compete in that realm. And so if our senators and governmental leaders aren't already on it, then we're going to be left behind as a nation. But they're already on it, and here's exactly how they are. So let me know whenever it's up, Cyrus. Okay, perfect. Okay, so US Congress is advancing AI safety legislation, and here is how. Okay, like everything is just slower now. Okay, perfect. Okay, so the US House actually passed an AI safety bill very recently aimed at reporting AI security incidents and establishing frameworks for responsible AI development, emphasizing the need for accountability. You guys, we're talking about AI ethics, AI regulation. These are necessities moving forward. And so they're actually starting to take those measures. And so as far as your business and how that's applied, where the major benefit for you is that you can really make sure that you're going to have to comply to these laws. So by ensuring compliance and reduction to the standards, you can essentially reduce your legal risks, of course, while also fostering responsible AI usage. Okay, AI ethics and compliance. Staying ahead of that is going to be the best bet for you as a business owner. So wanted to just cover, you know, some off the bat rules on how you as a business owner can comply with these emerging AI safety regulations. If you're incorporating this technology into your business, then it's going to be important. So if you have AI-driven products, just a few ways, we're not going to get into the details, you guys, but off surface level, okay, we're looking at implementing AI governance policies, so adopting security standards, data privacy and transparency, AI incident reporting. It's going to be very, very soon. That's going to be required for under US regulation, that if anything happens, you're going to have to report it. So making sure to stay ahead of all of these new implementations and regulations is going to be essential. But last but not least, engaging in stakeholder discussions, having conversations exactly to see how the Department of Homeland Security can really help to be a resource to see how you can stay updated on regulatory AI safety rules. So just off the bat, covering just a few of those topics, just because it is essential. And next, just kind of getting into Google's AI-driven image detection tools, and also covering how AI is mitigating risk when it comes down to biases or misinformation. So everything is changing, as you guys already know, and I'm going to pass it back to Cyrus. But before then, I think we should be uploaded into the website that I was going to show you guys with VR and AR. So let me know if you're ready to see that, and then we can move from there.
I'm ready to see it.
Okay, cool. All right, so perfect. I'm going to switch the screens, and I'm super excited to show you this. So as a AI solutions consultant, I've been able to really implement and integrate AI into the business model. And so, of course, as you guys know, implementing AI into your business model can help maximize your ROI and optimize your work process. So there are many, many benefits. And one of them that I've seen is really with this immersive experience. So, okay, here it goes, you guys, without further ado, loading into the website. Okay, so I hope you guys are ready to experience the future of fashion. Thank you. Thank you, Cyrus. Okay, so it's like a video game, you know, we have like immersive. It's like, okay, this is better boost world right here, where everything is better, you guys. Everything is better. And so, okay, we're just gonna hop over here. You can see it's like so peaceful. It's like a serene paradise. Wow, next level. So essentially, like, the business model is really based on tech integrations and shapewear. That's what we were starting off with. But now we're getting into lifestyle upgrades. And so we're going to be looking into building, you know, similar technologies to Meta's, not necessarily like getting straight into the AR, VR, but with this website, essentially, like, imagine being able to like really have an immersive shopping experience, which is something completely new and different. So let me know what you guys think about that. I would love upfront user feedback, but I just had to show you guys that just because it's something new that we're really trying to, implement by changing how we experience everything. So
That's incredible. Yeah, I love it. One of the things I love about this technology is that, y'all know online shopping it's already becoming increasingly popular. There's more online shopping done than people actually going into stores today. And so, but the only downside about online, I'm not saying the only one, but one of the downsides of online shopping is the limitations of you being stuck on like a 2D screen of you just scrolling up and scrolling up and down or kind of clicking on different tabs to look at things. This gives that experience of walking around in a store, but you could literally be like maybe laying in bed or sitting down, but you're able to have an experience like walking around a store, looking at different items. With certain technology like this, I'm not sure if it can do this yet, Ash, but I know eventually it'll be able to. If not, with certain type of technology, you can plug in your own like sizes or dimensions, and then you can walk around and look at items that are like specific to your size and get an idea as to what it would even look like on you. So y'all, this is Ash, this is incredible technology, y'all. These are the things that, like, of course, I personally champion more of us doing. So that's why I'm such a huge fan of what Ash is doing with Better Boost. And then this technology is really, really incredible. How do y'all see yourselves using some technology like Better Boost of what Ash has? That's what I'm curious about, because I'm thinking about this and I'm like, yo, this is like super cool. I love it.
Yes, everyone can enhance their business or creative process with AI. So I love that. Most definitely, everyone start to think of how you can apply it. And if you're curious about how you can apply it, then feel free to hit up either Cyrus to get into a tech career, or me if you're looking at getting into AI solutions for your business or as a creator.
Planet L says, I love this tech. Would we be able to try items on virtually?
It's coming very soon, very, very soon. But like I said, you guys had the first preview of that. It's still in like the beta process, but absolutely. So imagine like your immersive shopping experience. You're able to try things on, see how it looks great on you. That's our goal and mission, to be the future of fashion. So most definitely stay tuned for that.
That is incredible. Wu says to Ash, yes, Superworld, let you can virtually purchase anything in the virtual world, just like the shop you've shown in the digital super world. Customers can actually click and order from the digital twin. Yeah, this is stuff like this. This is really the future. It's definitely the future. No one's again, and even when we talk about pairing something like this with the augmented reality frames that like Meta has, and obviously Apple and other companies are going to come up with them as well, to where we're going to be moving away, maybe not entirely, but in large part moving away eventually from cell phones. We all know that Jensen, I think it was Jensen, the founder of NVIDIA, I'm pretty sure it was him, where he had another invention. No, it wasn't him. It definitely was not him. I'm tripping. No, it was another guy who had technology where he thought it was going to replace the phone, where it was, and I think it was wearable technology. It was something, I can't remember what it was, but it was something like on your palm or something like that. Yeah, where you could like place a call with your palm and do something like that. But ended up not going well. Yeah, it was recent. It was a guy. I think he used to work at Apple. He worked at I'm pretty sure it was Apple, but he came out with a technology where it's like, yeah, you could just literally dial or press buttons on your palm. But the problem with it was that you had to like kind of pin the technology to your chest, and you would hold your palm out, and it basically would kind of it would,
project.
Project. Thank you. It would have like a projector that would have to display on your palm. So it's kind of like, not really. MKBHD, Marcus Brownlee, he did a review of it. That review that he did, it basically crushed the company. Like literally, he did a review. Like even when I saw the review, I was like, yo, bro, I think this is going to make this company go out of business. And then literally the review hurt the company so much people blame Marcus Brownlee for crushing the company because the company literally immediately went out of business like 2 weeks later. Marcus Brownlee made another video about it saying, okay, a lot of people are blaming me for making this company go out of business. Anyway, that being said, this wearable technology, these frames are definitely the future. And then being able to pair something like that with like what Ash is doing is really, really incredible. Is really like we really are going to see a world where, you know, people are going to be walking around, they'll be sitting down walking around shopping. And so this is incredibly cutting edge, Wu says, basically, if you can't afford real estate, join Superworld and buy the virtual real estate. One way to stay ahead of the curve. All right, low as 100 ETH to buy a virtual real estate for advertising, businesses, whatever, even resell in the future when AR and VR really gets big. What's so interesting is how Meta, the reason why Facebook or Mark Zuckerberg created Meta as the parent company to Instagram, Facebook, WhatsApp. Because Meta owns WhatsApp. Or am I getting confused? Yeah, Meta owns WhatsApp, I think. Yeah. Meta owns WhatsApp. Yeah, so Instagram, Facebook, and WhatsApp. Part of the reason why they named it Meta was because their other product, of course, I'm sure all of us remember this, was the metaverse, or it was supposed to be the metaverse. I believe, and I said this before, the metaverse, it was not a stupid idea. It was just, he was way too early, because part of creating technology is timing. If you come up with something too early, people might not want it. The market might not be ready for it. You know, it just wouldn't make sense. And so now I believe with this type of technology and with, of course, the avatars looking better, because the other issue is that the avatars look really bad in the metaverse. The metaverse just looked really horrible. It looked like worse than like a Sims game. But now with the technology and AI and all these other pieces, we might see the metaverse basically spin the block and come back around and be a huge thing. So I love what you mentioned, Wu TV. Love what you mentioned. Neil says, I'm new to cybersecurity, but I think it is going to be the biggest and most important industry in the world because of all the new technology. Someone has to secure. No, I agree. What are your thoughts on that? No, I agree entirely. If not the most important, and arguably I would say it probably is the most important. If not the most important, definitely top three. Definitely top three. Cybersecurity, definitely. Definitely. I agree. Yeah, cybersecurity is one of those industries where it's not going anywhere. Probably never no time soon. Probably like it just can't. Like you need it. There's actually, and I think I mentioned this before, there's conversation happening in government where there are thoughts about every business needing some type of cybersecurity insurance. So, I mean, think about it. It almost doesn't matter who the business is, even if we're talking like a nail salon, hair salon, barber shop, whoever, like if it's some type of way they are using, if that business is using some form of technology for you to make payments, to capture customer data, because all of these businesses are now starting to like capture data. Even myself, I went to a barbershop a couple of days ago out here in DR. The next day, I got a text message from the barbershop where they're like reminding me, hey, use this as a discount code next time you want to come back. I'm like, yo, when did y'all get my data? I don't remember giving y'all my data, but they have a little bit of my data. And so like, if they get hacked, if whatever tools they're using gets hacked, it's like, yo, that could be my data being leaked. So in some type of way, it's like either I could sue them or something could be done. So there are conversations about it being a requirement for even small mom and pop businesses, mom and pop shops to have some type of additional cybersecurity insurance. So yeah, it's getting real spooky out here, y'all. Really, really spooky. I'm happy that I know Ash, we mentioned before how the government didn't really have any boundaries around what's happening with AI. I'm happy that they're finally stepping up and coming up with some regulations, because it's like it's coming to wild, wild west.
Oh yeah, what time to be alive, everyone.
Good stuff. So I'm gonna address a few of the comments we skipped earlier, and then y'all, we're probably gonna get ready to wrap up. We had a little bit more news to share, but just for the sake of time, be mindful of everyone's day. we will probably wrap up in just a moment. All right, so where we at? Wu says, I see that the Jensen influence in Mark Zuckerberg. He had his chain on in the interview, and Jensen said, "Welcome to my hood." Mark replied back, "Thanks for having me in your hood." So tech is the new black for real. That's funny. That's funny. Our influence is real, but I digress. Yeah. Yeah. You can create in the VR and AR world. Oh, yeah, we already went over that part. Okay. Yeah, y'all. I wonder. I mean, it might be worthwhile investing in virtual real estate. It definitely might be worthwhile. My only thing with virtual real estate is that the thing with real estate is that there is a limited amount of real estate. Like you can't create more. For the most part, you can't create more land. So it's like my curiosity is like, how do you determine the price of virtual real estate when technically you can just, in my head at least, I'm like, you could just create more. Like there should be, it's almost like the universe, like the actual universe. Like the universe is technically endless. Like there is no end to the universe. Like the universe is expanding. I think it's expanding at the speed of light. So it's like, even if you were, no matter what speed you're traveling at, unless you're even if you're traveling at the speed of light, you can't reach the end of the universe because the universe is expanding as fast as the speed of light. So it's like, likewise, you can't really reach the end. Technically, there is more universe constantly being created. So in my mind, I'm like, well, how do you, I don't know, like how do you charge or determine the pricing for real estate that's virtually that's ever endless? Again, that's in my head.
Exactly.
That's in my head.
Like,
Wu says,
like
so guys, the rappers ain't gonna be the dudes no more. The tech guys are showing out better. Better get in quick. Yeah, that's the truth. That's the truth. Ash, do you have any insights as to how people plan on charging for virtual real estate, or like how that's?
I think the word of the day is ownership and owning your creative process, owning your time, owning your mind power and knowledge that you can gain. And so when we're thinking of AR and VR realities, you could purchase land in somebody else's reality, but there's also a potential that you can create your own. So there's a potential where we can literally build our own worlds. And so build paradises, build educational hubs, build anything that you desire. And so if you have a vision of what you can create in the world, then you can see it and you can make it yourself. So especially with AI technology, the core of it is going to be ownership, and you want to be able to own that. And so that's going to come down to, of course, gaining those essential technological skills that you're going to need to succeed. It's inevitable. And so the future is very, very exciting, but it's also going to require us to be able to gain knowledge rapidly. So accelerated learning processes are essential. So with boot camps, for example, as you guys already know, I mean, instead of taking years to gain a tech degree or that tech knowledge that's essential, you can gain it in a few months and then get started into tech immediately, and then be able to branch off and expand with the limitless nature of AI and, you know, the industry in itself. So if you aren't already in tech, you need to get into tech today. No more thinking about it, no more processing or considering it. Like, you know, it's a necessity at this point. And so tap in, sign up for those classes, get tapped in with a educational consultant so they can show you the way. With Cyrus can help out with just exactly where you want to go in tech. He's been obviously very successful in a tech career. And so you guys, this is definitely a pivotal time. And so you want to be able to take advantage and leverage everything that's open source and available while you can, because everything is changing so rapidly. So get ahead and stay at the forefront of what's happening right now.
Love it. I love it. Hey, y'all, this was so much fun. And of course, y'all being here made it significantly more valuable as always, because we are here for y'all. Appreciate y'all so much. There's a lot of stuff happening, a lot more news of what's happened this week. Make sure y'all are staying up to date as to what's happening. Make sure y'all are tuning in the future for other tech and AI news. Final comment we got in here from Woo TV. You're right. I think the virtual real estate depends on the platform you want to use, because now Jensen made a digital twin of the world. So that's true. Whew, that's crazy. That is crazy. Hey, y'all, on that note, we're going to go ahead and let y'all go. Love y'all very much. Y'all have a blessed and beautiful remainder of your weekend.